There is nothing that enrages me more than fat models.
I don't like the celebration of morbid obesity.
Jubilee makes videos where they invite people to answer a set of questions to see the range of their beliefs and values. And in this episode, they selected obese individuals.
I am offended by the word fat.
In the past, fat has been such like derogatory term, and we've been so ridiculed for the way we look. It's almost like I want to take that word back and make it a positive thing.
The word fat is a noun and an adjective, and in itself, it is neither positive nor it is negative. Your interpretation of it and your own emotions and feelings are what paints the word itself as negative or positive. If you're offended when you're called fat, it is not because of the word fat itself, but how you feel about it and your own self.
Being plus size is a choice.
The correct sentence here is being obese is a choice. These people are obese because they've been eating too much sugar and everything told to them was sugar coated. And here they are being referred to as plus size. You're not plus size, you're obese. Anyway, let's see how they feel about that sentence. Are you surprised that most of them disagree with the statement? Of course, I am not. Because agreeing will mean accepting responsibility.
Some people do try to be plus size. Like there's like lots of people in the gay community that are called eaters and feeders. So people do try to be bigger, but I don't think it's necessarily a choice.
Right. Because you were born plus size, right? The individual is right on something though. There is such a thing as feederism. There is this community of people who are sexually aroused by seeing or watching others gain weight. But just because some people want to be fat for whatever reasons, including feederism, does not mean that feederism is the only choice for people to be fat. You're obese because you eat more calories than you burn, and it is a choice that you make daily.
I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. Everyone was so happy for me. I hated myself.
This is the only person who somewhat agreed that being obese is a choice.
I hated the way I looked. I hated why I exercise and things like that. And so I made the conscious decision of my parents are not going to be supportive, or maybe they won't like it. The Korean community is going to be really disappointed.
Here is the thing. She lost weight for the wrong reasons. That's why she hated it. When you live your life based on what others will think of you, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and unhappiness. Weight loss is about health, not beauty or anything else. Carrying too much fat, especially around your vital organs, is dangerous for you because it puts you at higher risk of developing health problems that you could avoid just by not being obese. If your reasons behind losing weight are to please others and not lead a healthier life, then you're binding yourself to gaining the weight back and even more. And that's what happened to this person. She made the conscious choice to stay obese.
It was a choice for me to say, well, I don't want to work out 8 hours a day every day and hate what I look like to be skinnier.
First of all, no one works out 8 hours a day, and definitely not this one. It could have been a use of hyperbolism of her part to be funny or cynical, but if we keep real, no one works out 8 hours a day. In a nutshell, every time you work out, you put stress on your body. That stress creates some damages to your tissues that heal with rest and a proper nutrition. The damages, which include tears in your muscles, for instance, are the reason why you're sore. Over time, the soreness decreases and your body becomes accustomed to the stress you put on it. That's called the SAID principle, or the specific adaptation to impose demands. What happens when you put too much stress on your body? Well, your body will not adapt and will instead break down. This entire model is GAS, or General Adaptation Syndrome. This is the body's response to stress physiologically. You start a new workout plan. Within 24 to 48 hours, you experience DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness. That's the alarm reaction stage of the GAS model. You continue the training plan and begin to adapt to it in a way that enhances your performance. This is the resistance development stage. Suppose now that you're overtraining and therefore adding too much stressors to your body. Now you get injuries such as muscle strains and ligament strains, stress fractures, joint pains, physical and emotional fatigue. This is the final stage of the GAS model and one that we aim to avoid, the exhaustion stage. Working out 8 hours a day will get you to this stage, and this is why no one, and definitely not this woman, works out that long or that much.
So I'm gonna let myself eat more than a quarter cup of white rice today.
Fair enough. She clearly made the choice to eat more and gain weight because that's what she prefers. At least she is honest with herself and others, and I respect that.
In society, especially in America, we have this idea that, oh yeah, all fat people ate themselves that way.
Because you did. I have said it many times. It is not 100% the fault of obese individuals to be obese. Medications and or underlying conditions can play a part. The food industry, especially the fast food industry, definitely plays a part, but so do the obese individuals themselves. Yes, you may be addicted to food because of the food industry, but you're the one choosing not to do anything about it and instead continue to indulge in your addiction. So yeah, you ate yourself to your size. Own it.
They don't take into account people who have a disease. They don't take into account people who work out and their body is just built that way.
Do not confuse body shape with body size. And this is a common misconception that most people make. I was born with an hourglass body. That's the body shape. Broad shoulders, small waist, broad hips. Also referred to as the X shape in the bodybuilding community. I am muscularly thin. This is the body size. Obese is a body size, not a body shape. We say body shape, but it is also inferred body type. No one is born obese, for obese is something you become. Put it this way, training will enhance and even might change your body shape, while eating will impact your body size. Eat more calories than you burn, and you will have more fat stored in your body and therefore will gain weight. It is science, physics, thermodynamics, the law of nature.
And they just look at someone and they say, oh, you're fat and you're not doing anything about it.
Because that's true in many cases. It is true in the fat acceptance community, for instance.
It is possible that people have eaten themselves to that point, but then you look at like, why did that happen? There's trauma, there's rough coping mechanisms. There's so many different things that can lead to somebody resorting to that.
Exactly. And we are not saying that it is not the case. The point here is you cannot always blame outside factors and ignore the roles that you yourself play in your situation to explain said situation. Regardless of factors outside your control for being obese, you are still the one choosing to eat the way you do and what you do.
Because I know that's what happened to me. I didn't choose it, but it happened.
Yeah, but what are you doing about it right now? I have gone through trauma myself, and in this article that I wrote and shared on the blog a few weeks ago, at the time I'm recording this, I talked about being tired of living, which all culminates from traumas. Yet I'm not obese because I choose not to be. So stop blaming your obesity on traumas, as if anorexic individuals, for instance, or people with healthier looking bodies never experienced trauma in their life. You're obese because you choose to stay that way, and you make that choice consciously every day in all and what you eat and how you live your life. Talking about choices, you can absolutely choose to subscribe to Gothangelik horror stories. What is that? You would ask. Well, beasties, I just created a brand new YouTube channel where I tell spooky, scary, creepy horror stories. You know, the kind that keeps you awake at night. And sometimes I immerse you into them with sound effects. Because why the hell not? October is the spookiest month in the calendar. Therefore, I have a story for you for each day till Halloween. If you're into that kind of stuff, the link is in the bio. Subscribe to that channel. And together, let's get freaky.
I've been criticized for my size.
Obviously, they all strongly agree.
I had family said, you know what, we'll fix your ears, we'll fix your nose, we'll fix your eyes, your lips, and all your fat.
That's messed up. And some families are brutally blunt like that.
The critique comes from this idea of, you must hate how you look, so let me help you.
She said she's from South Korea, and South Korea is one of those countries where the Western standards of beauty are pushed so hard that it made cosmetic surgery so mainstream. So I agree with her on the fact that just because someone is obese doesn't mean that they want to lose weight. And at the same time, just because you want to stay obese and choose to does not mean others should too or should become obese. Being obese is not normal and it should not be regarded as such.
Everyone in this entire room has been criticized for their body. Like, it doesn't really matter what size you are. If you think that this is like exempt from you because we're bigger or we have different body types, like, no. We've all been shamed for our bodies.
And that is sadly the truth. Don't we see it from the fat acceptance community too? They will criticize fat shaming while fit shaming you in the same breath.
People feel that they have the right to come up to you and impose their views onto you about your personal body.
No. No one comes to you to give you their opinions on your own body randomly. That happens when you spread lies such as being obese is healthy or natural, and that everybody should be obese because there is nothing wrong with it.
The fact that I have rolls on my belly and big thighs doesn't make me any less of a human being.
And no one said otherwise.
My body is not for you. I didn't ask you. That's it.
Correct. But understand that if you put yourself in public making false claims, you're inviting people to give you their opinions about your false claims.
I want to lose weight.
Where they stand is personal to them, and no one but their doctors should tell them otherwise as far as their health is concerned. But how they went about choosing where they stand on that question is telling.
I will love the way I look no matter what.
I agree. You should love yourself no matter what, which is the foundation on which Connie Subzak created the body positive movement.
Sometimes I do think about losing weight because I do, and like everyone does.
Because there's privileges when you're smaller.
Here we go with the teen privilege bullshit.
It's natural to think I want to be smaller because there's so many more options for me if I'm smaller.
Well, duh. And those options include living slightly longer, not losing any fingers or limb because of amputation due to contracting type 2 diabetes, just to name a few options.
But I don't want to lose weight.
And that's okay. It is a choice that you're making, which gets us back to what we said earlier. Being obese is a choice.
Skinny people get more privileges.
What do you think their thought here is?
If you go to a concert and see an artist, you will like never see someone that looks like me dancing back up for like Chris Brown.
Have you ever wondered whether health was part of the reasons why not? I'm not going to pretend that I know why obese dancers would not be selected as backup dancers for celebrities, because I don't. But I can speculate based on what we see on TV and magazines, for instance, and what message has been pushed. The leaner your appearance and the more appealing for marketing. There could also be the fact that with all those dance moves, someone with a bigger frame might have higher chances to injure, if not kill themselves on stage, which could open many people to legal suits. Again, I don't know what's going on in that business and how decisions are made. The point that I'm trying to make is that when you're starting with more disadvantage than your peers, it is up to you to do the necessary work to have the same things, if not more. It is not fair, but that's the world we live in. Our black child knows that in order to get the same job as their Caucasian counterpart, they need to work at least 4 times more than the Caucasian counterpart. At least that's what many are told growing up. The same is true for an obese dancer versus a lean dancer. One is always going to be judged more and possibly harsher than the other, but suas circunstâncias atuais não determinam para onde você pode ir. Elas meramente dizem onde você começa. Or in English, what you do with your circumstances is what defines you, not your circumstances.
The world is created with smaller bodies in mind.
Is it true though? Like, how far would you want to push the boundaries? There are accommodations for obese individuals, and it is also true that people choose to be bigger and therefore get themselves outside what is already available to accommodate them. Why should the world bend over to accommodate people who choose a bad lifestyle? Isn't that selfish to make XYZ choices and demand that others cater to those choices? Isn't that entitlement?
Just like organically speaking, smaller people have bigger privileges because the world is designed like for them.
Says the obese individual who chooses to be obese and does not want to lose weight. This person is a personification of fat acceptance. I'm going to eat more than I need because I want to, and gain weight because I love food. I don't want to lose weight because I'm perfect. It is the world that is not designed for me. Listen, Mrs., you can't make this up.
I had to quit a whole career because of my size. Through college, I gained 65 pounds. And not only did I watch my professors lose interest in me, but I watched casting people lose interest in me.
Again, this comes back to what I said earlier. Your circumstances don't define you. What you do with them does. You gain weight, which made things harder for you in the career that you were in. The key word here is harder. It was harder, never impossible. Yet you chose the easier way, which was to walk away. No one forced you out of that career. You took yourself out. She left the theater scene to get into education, instead to teach people that you can be obese and play any roles. It doesn't make sense, but that's what she said. First of all, you could have thought that in the theater scene if you had stayed and fought for it if you truly believed it. Number 2, obese individuals cannot play any roles that they want. Imagine an obese Flash. Listen, that is an oxymoron in itself.
I love my body.
I love my body, but it took a lot of time to get there.
This is something that a lot of people deal with, not just those who are obese.
I learned how to just love every little part of me because it is mine. It belongs to me.
And I agree with her on that. Your body is your best possession, and you should love it and care for it the best you can.
Being plus size, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's here for me and it's got me this far. It's sabotaged me in a lot of ways. That's its own journey.
This one speaks of her body as if it has a mind of its own. She is the epitome of the sentence, your body controls you, not the other way around.
It's okay if you don't love your body. It's okay if you're not obsessed with it. Just be kind to yourself. That's good enough. If you can be kind to your best friend, you can be kind to yourself.
There is something off about this sentence, but I can't put my finger on it. If someone is your best friend, then you have love for them, right? Can you be kind to yourself without loving yourself? Please, I'm genuinely asking and would love reading what you have to say on that in the comments. And doesn't being kind to yourself involve wanting better health for yourself?
Do I want to change? Sometimes, sure. Will it? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But like at the end of the day, like I will love it regardless because it is like a home for me.
Yes. Everybody should love their body regardless of what stage they are at. Your body is your home, as this last person said very well. It is your best possession and also the best project you could possibly work on. But losing weight when you are obese does not mean that you hate your body. Rather, that you love your body enough to want it as healthy as it can possibly be, so it will live as long as it possibly could. Thanks for watching, besties. Train mean.